which is very important for the prelims 2020 perspective. And I will also give not just give an overview of the Indian architecture, but I will also give you certain important points which are quite relevant from exam perspective. They might be new to you, but this will add value to your preparation and will definitely be useful to you guys. I must stress here that this video is only for revision purposes, and new guys, new aspirants who are preparing for the next exam, that is in 2021, might not find it that useful because of the lack of explanation. This is only a quick revision. Okay, so let's start. So Indian architecture start from the beginning of civilization, that is during the Indus Valley civilization, about which I have covered in the separate video of in which Indus Valley civilization etc. is there. Indus Valley civilization was the first civilization of India, in which we have found the unique feature of the planning of cities, and also we have found a number of large tanks as well as the granaries. Although the large palaces and temples are missing, but still that planned structure of the city etc., the city plans which were found in a number of cities across the length and breadth of the Indus Valley civilization area. Next came the Vedic age, and the Vedic age being not a civilization of sorts, so no substantial architectural evidence has been recovered from this age. Moreover, it was early Vedic age was in Saptasindhu region, and later Vedic age was mainly in Ganges plain. So the material used must have been not lasting, means stone was not available. So that might also be the reason for the lack of the any substantial architecture evidence. Then came the Maharajah period, and the second urbanization started with the rise of the Magadha, and we have some architectural evidence, particularly from the Aryan times. We saw the 1,000 pillar hall from Kumrahar from Bihar that has been excavated, and its inspiration, like the other Ashokan pillars, seems the Achaemenid dynasty of the Persia. They were all the Roman inspired pillars. The Roman rule was there in that part at that time. And later on, I already mentioned that because of the lack of the stone uses and the recurrent floods in the northern plains, not much has been remained. In the early centuries of Christian era, we have seen the Sangam age, the prosperity there because of the Roman trade, but there also not much architectural evidence has come to the light so far. They might come to the light later on. So the first and foremost architectural marvels after the Indus Valley civilization, which has come to us in the same form or the modified form after they were repaired by the later kings, they are stupas. Stupas are actually the stupa tradition emanated from the Shramana system. Shramanas were the likes of the rishis of orthodox system in heterodox or unorthodox system, like Jainism, Buddhism, etc. The Shramana system, that is called Shramana system. They were the they used to meditate. Okay, so in the Shramana systems, whenever someone was used to die, then his body is, instead of cremation, it was buried, and in case of cremation, his body remains. On his body remains a stupa, a mound was erected. Initially, this was only some stones were put and some rubble, etc., and that's why it was raised. But later on, when Buddhism and Jainism spread, stupas emerged as a distinct architectural features, particularly under Ashoka. It is said that Ashoka built 84,000 stupas in memory of Lord Buddha, and number of them stupas which were built by Ashoka has not remained. This is the Sanchi Stupa, which is of considered as of modern times, originally built by Ashoka the Great, and later on the Sungas and other rulers also added to it and also repaired to it. Like the railings are the earliest stupa railings which were added during the Sunga times. This is the gateway or the torrents. These are beautifully carved on which the images of the animals as well as Yakshana or Yakshini, Yaksha and Yakshini you will find in Indian sculpture traditions, a number of them which are actually representatives of the non-human personalities who are representatives of the natural things like water, like earth, like fertility, etc. Okay, so even they were in Brahmanism, Yaksha and Yakshini, as well as in Buddhism and Jainism. So this is the broad features of the stupa. There is outer railing and there is then there is a walkway around it. Then there is on the base of it there is another railing. This railing is called Medhi. Okay. Then gateway, I already told you that gateway, there are 4 gateways in the 4 directions of the Sanchi Stupa. Then this stupa dome is known as Anda, and the top of it there is another railing surrounding a chhatra spire which is known as chhatra. There is this railing at the top is called as harmika. So I have told you the purpose is the stupa, that some relics, some remains of a revered personality was put and a structure was built. So this was the earliest religious structure. This temples, stupa architecture is older than temples. Now come to the Buddhist religious sites and Buddhist religious because stupas are mostly founded in Buddhist vihars. Vihars were the places where monks used to live, and chaityas are the prayer hall. Earliest architecture was something like that in rock cut architecture, in which these are the Ajanta caves. Front of the Ajanta cave, this is the most important cave 19, and this is the Mahachaityas. This is a rock cut architecture in which caves were carved like that, and the end of the cave there is a small stupa. Some of stupas were carved on which sculptures were there, and on the side of it there are pillars and rooms. Okay, so these are the common structure. Later on in other caves like Bagh caves, Bhaya caves, etc. So this changed. In some were too deep, some were smaller ones. Okay, in some of them these were missing. Some of them stupas were simple, just simple structure. In some of them they were carved, and Buddhist images, Jataka story, etc. were there. Right. So this is the facade of the Ajanta caves in Maharashtra, and this is the Mahachaitya. So these are the sites of Buddhist pilgrimage sites or the monasteries. Buddhist monastery, all of you know about the monastery. A monastery is the nothing but a modern name of the Buddhist vihara. So starting from the Leh, there are number of the monastery there: Alchi, Thikse, Sankar, Stokes, Pituk and Diskit. In Diskit monastery there is second largest Buddhist stupa is there, the Bodhisattva Maitreya or the future Bodhisattva. In Himachal Pradesh, Dharamshala, which is the seat of the Tibetan government in exile, the Dalai Lamas, and there are Tabo and Ki monastery is there in Himachal Pradesh. There is Delhi monastery near Delhi bus stand. There is Mathura monastery is there. There are another sites in entire eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, which are important for Buddhist pilgrimage circuit, like Sarnath, where first sermon was given, and this event is known as Dharma Chakra Parivartan. At Deer Park, Gaya, where Buddha got the enlightenment, both Gaya, modern Gaya district, and other areas of Bihar where Buddha gave his sermons. In Sikkim, Ramtek Monastery in Tawang, very important for the Sino-Indian strategic affairs as well. In Arunachal Pradesh, in Ajanta Ellora, I just shown you. Nagarjun Konda, there is Amravati. Nagarjun Konda is not on the coast, remember that. In Krishna Godavari, Amravati is on coast. There is Bhatti Parolu is also there on coast near it. Bhatti Parolu and Amravati. Then this is Namdroling Monastery in near Mysore in Karnataka, which is actually one of the Tibetan Buddhist sects monastery. It is quite interesting that it is there in the extreme south. Next is the one of the wonders of Indian architecture. Yes, Kailash Nath Temple of Ellora, built by the Krishna K1, Krishna one of the Rashtrakuta Krishna one built it, and you can see these are the humans. See, look at the size. The entire mountain was cut, and this dark. This is, I mean, the rock is dark because of the Deccan Plateau and the heavy rainfall in the Western Ghats. The sheer size, and it was not built during this one king only. It was contributed by this building was contributed by many kings. I have other more images of it, but I considered that this was the best image to show you in this revision video itself. And when we will zoom it, you will find out the other beautiful carvings on it, like these elephants, these huge pillars. Okay, so this is a Lord Shiva Kailash Natha temple. This is Mount Kailash is shown, our abode of Shiva, and this was based on the Kailash Nath temple of Kanchipuram. Its plan was considered as based on the Kailash Nath temple of the Kanchipuram, which was built by the Pallavas. Okay, now consider this is how old it is. Indian architectural tradition is not just restricted to the Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar only. How consider, and it is in Maharashtra, in not that easily accessible area. That's why it is not so much popular with the tourists. And this is Indian rock cut architecture. Some of the rocks, Panduleni or the Nasik caves. Panduleni is the cave, Kanheri caves in Mumbai. And Jogeshwari cave also there in Mumbai. This is the eye hole caves, most important cave, Ravan Pahadi caves, one of the most important eye hole in Karnataka under Chalukyas of Badami. Ravan Pahadi caves famous for its sculptures. I will mention them, like this Nataraj sculpture in the sculptures video. This is the facade of the Badami caves, both under the Chalukyas of Badami. Aihole was the first capital of the Chalukyas of Badami, or Badami was later known as a Vatapi Badami. Now comes the temple architecture. So this is the earliest temple, structural temples, not the rock cut temples, but the brick mortar temples that come into being. So they were not in the modern style. This shikhar is there, so they were flat top temples, and they started in the Gupta. So these Brahmanical temples, so earliest one like Sanchi temple. This is the Sanchi temple. Then Parvati temple of Nachna Kothara, again in Sanchi. Then this, now these are the flat topped and temple. There is Bhumara temple is also there, very famous, for which is Shiva temple. Then most famous Gupta temple is the Dasavatara temple at Devgarh near Jhansi. And the walls of it, there is a famous sculpture of the Vishnu lying on his Seshnaga, which I will show you in the sculptures video. Then this is another brick temple of the Gupta period of 6th century, or the later period, is Bhitargaon, which okay. So apart from that, their same period temples, 6th and 7th century temples are there. The Sirpur group of temples in Chhattisgarh, of which Lakshman temple is most famous. So this is how the temple architecture evolved, and the Panchayatana temple started in it, in which 5 shrines were there. In the center there is a main shrine at the center, and there are 4 subsidiary shrines, S1, S2, S3 and S4 at the 4 corners. And they were Shiva centric, in which central shrine was of Shiva, and the sun centric, Deva centric, in which Devi was the central, and Ganesh centric. So 5 gods were Vishnu, Shiva, Devi, Ganesh and Surya. So these were the Panchayatana, 5 Panchayatana or Pankayatana of the temple architecture. So next is the most important one, the 3 architectural styles of the Indian temples, the Nagara, Dravida and Vasara. These are the 3 broad ones, although there are variations in Odisha style of the Nagara architecture, in which there was some outer gateways were from the like Dravidian Gopurams, or the outer gateways. So this is the sketch of the northern style of the Nagara style, which is based on the which is based on the Kandriya Mahadev temple architecture of the Kandriya Mahadev and Lakshman temple. They are exactly same temples of the Khajuraho group of Nagara style of architecture. So you can see there is a large base which is called plinth, and on the base of it there is a Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha, there is an idol, above which there is a superstructure Shikhar, and the top of it there is a Amalak. Amalaka is the distinct feature of the northern style of the Nagara style. And Shikhar is a pyramid. Shikhar is a curvilinear tower. Okay. While in south there is pyramidal tower. The plinth is there, Garbhagriha is there, and there is a pyramidal tower. And the top of it, instead of Amalak, there is a capstone. Okay. Then in front of it there are minor shikhars on each mandap. Mandap are the hall, like for the dance mandap, assembly mandap, nritya mandap, natya mandap, okay, audience chamber, okay, in which audience the Bhaktajan will assemble for prayers, arti, etc. But there are no such superstructures, no such vimans. Vimans are these pyramidal towers on these mandaps. So mandaps are common to them, right? So these are the broad differences, and then later on also you can see this pyramid. Also these pyramids were sometimes like in form of this stepped pyramid, like in this case, in this picture. This is the curvilinear. I will talk about Vesara style. Vesara style, the difference was Vesara style composed of the both. Like in top there is Amalak here. In Vesara style was developed in Karnataka, and it included features of both. Like it was largely vertical superstructure, and there is a curvilinear base like that, and sometimes there is pyramidal tower. Okay, so there were actually mixture of both, mixed feature. Later on, the circumambulation of the Garbhagriha has also started, and most of the temples of the South Indian has this. Now comes the another variant of the Northern Indian style, that is Odisha style. This is the Odisha style. Famous temples are the Konark Sun Temple and Konark Sun Temple. Then this is the Konark Sun Temple. Now the present day we have only Jagmohan, or the audience chamber, which is remaining. The main, which is really massive. It is alone is really massive, and a number of the sculptures are there. And the original temple Garbhagriha along with Shikhar is no longer there. Even this Jagmohan and the entire temple complex is really massive. There are number of the sculptures, like there is a sculpture with a Chinese style lion over an Indian elephant. There it is considered the British architects made based upon the evidence, found that in this Sun Temple a number of horses, who was Sun's horses, who according to mythology drives the chariots, were also there. So this is the layout. Is the Shikhar is known as dual. This building is dual, Rekha dual, and these are largely vertical. Garbhagriha in it. Then in front of it there are smaller Pidha dual, like the Jagmohan and Natya Mandap. So these are Rekha dual is the main structure or Garbhagriha. There are Pidha dual, and the gateways were like the South Indian Gopurams. Khakra dual was like South Indian gateways, and the entry was always towards the east. So they were in west-east direction. This is the Jagannath. This is the Jagannath temple. Okay. So again, you can see there is another example of it. I'll just show you. So also the duals or the roofs were different style. It was like this. So this was the difference between the but Amalak were there in the Odisha style. You should remember that. Now I am talking about the temples. So let's instead of going to the south, let's talk about the other temples of the North India itself. In the early medieval India and the medieval India, this is the Shatrujanya hill. The entire hill is covered with the Jaina temples, beautiful Jain temples. The ministers. This is the Ranakpur Jain temple. This is the beautifully carved out pillars of the interior of the Mount Abu Dilwara temple. So this is another example of the Maru Gujarat style of architecture and sculpture tradition. These each and every pillar and roof is beautifully carved. So these are built by the ministers Vimla Saha as well as the brothers Vastupala and Tejpal. Now come to the South India. South India earliest example of the temples are the Shore temple. This is the independent structural temple, and it is considered that some of the more structures are now engulfed under the sea. This Shore temple at Mabalapuram or Mahabalipuram under Pallavas, built under Pallavas, was contemporary of the Chalukyas temples. And these are the Raths or the individual smaller shrines, and they are Draupadi Rath, Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira Rath, Nakul Sahdev, Bhim Rath. So these are the individual Raths, and this is not a structural temple. They are carved out of a rock, individual rocks. So Indian skill of Indian stone cutters was quite amazing in entire ancient India, and it was utilized fully by the Indo-Islamic rulers of India. I will show you later on. Now come to the Chalukyas temple architecture. So earlier the flat-topped emerged temples emerged, like the Megoti Jain temple, from which we have received the Pulkesin's inscription, in which his fight at Narmada against his defensive struggle against the successful defensive struggle against the Harshvardhan at the Narmada in central India is mentioned, as also his struggle against the Pallavas of Kanchipuram. Aihole was the earliest capital of the Chalukyas. This is the Durga temple, whose back is quite unique because his back is curved. Then we have Badami temples, and this is the Badami temple architecture. Look at the Rekhanagar Shikhar, which is in beehive shape, and then the vestiges of the Antralya, that is passage between the front structures, front mandaps, and that of the, there is a passage used to connect between the Garbhagriha structure as well as the front chambers. So this started from the Chalukyas architecture. Now this is another unique temple from the Pattadkal. Pattadkal, the earliest temple which is flagged off, was Chandrasekhar temple. But this temple is unique because this is Lad Khan temple, which is unique because of the kind of roof it has. You can see it looks like that pieces of wood are placed rather than stone. And again, it is not the, neither it is Northern Indian style or South Indian style. This is the Vesara style under the Chalukyas. Next comes the Dravidian style. So Dravidian style, how it emanated in Dravidian style. This is the Bradeshwara temple under Cholas, Rajarajeshwara temple. This is the Kailasnatha Kanchipuram temple, on which the Rashtrakuta built the Kailasnatha temple at Ellora. This is the earlier than this Rajarajeshwara temple of the 10th century AD. The South Indian temple architecture plan was like this. In center there is the Viman or pyramidal tower, under it's a Garbhagriha, then there is Antralya or vestibule connecting to the mandaps, the audience chamber, Nada mandap, etc., on which there is no superstructure of the Viman. It is flat topped mandap. These are the big gateways, or these are the gateways or gopurams. In fact, some of them, like in case of the Meenakshi temple at Madurai, this is a smaller shrine. The gateways in the four directions are sometimes larger than the Viman of the main shrine. Then these are the subsidiary shrines, and many times there is the this is the circumambulation around chamber, is circumambulation passageway is there, And most of the South Indian temples complex, this water tank is also there. So this is how, this is the structures or sculptures on the images of the god, goddesses, etc. on the Gopuram of the Meenakshi temple, and this is the mandap, how sculpture pillars are there, and most of the passageway, such sculptures are have adorned the South Indian temples. Now comes the Vijayanagara temple, and before that the Hoysala temple. Hoysala temple architecture in Karnataka is quite unique because of the base. Its base is the star shaped, is known as the Jagati. So the base is the star shaped, and on which there are shrines and which towers are like there, like that. This is it. So the base there is a star shaped Jagati, on which there are women on the each direction, which are elaborately carved. And this is the Hoysaleshwara temple. Hoysaleshwara temple. This is Somnathpuram temple. This is Hoysaleshwara temple, on which, in which these, look at the beautifully carved these pillars. These are like they are carved by the machine. Like they are lathe turned pillars. They are popularly called so. The carving, they are as if like they are not carved by the hands, they are carved by the machines. So this is the Vijayanagara temple architecture of the later period, and Hampi Virupaksha temple and Vitthal temple. So these are some of the temples. Now I am not giving you all the example because I am giving you this temple map, which will be very beautiful map, and it will be highly useful for you. So I recommend you to go through this from north to south. Jammu and Kashmir. At the same time, I am giving you certain other examples of the Pakistani temple which might be useful for you, because there is a Katas Raja temple in Pakistani Punjab, very popular temple, Katas Raj temple. Then Multan was in Pakistani Punjab, was famous sun temple worship center, and Multan there is still a sun temple as well as a temple of Narsimha. The temple of the Narsimha, and the Narsimha story is depicted there. Prahlad Narsimha story. So Prahlad Narsimha temple is there. Then there is one Sharda Peeth is there in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Another important temple of Sialkot, which is nowadays in news. I will cover that in the art and culture current affairs. So these are the Jammu and Kashmir. Amarnath temple, Mata Vaishno Devi temple is there. So in the Srinagar itself, there is Raghunathji temple, as well as Shankaracharya is there, which is not considered as a temple proper. Golden temple is there, Kurukshetra, Kedarnath temple, Badrinath temple, Kedarnath, Shiva, Badrinath, Vaishnu shrine, Puri Jagannath temple, Dwarka Dham, and then South Indian temple, Sharanabelagola. I will show you in sculpture why it is important for the Chinese pilgrimage. There is one Pallitana hill is there, Pannitala hill, I have shown you. Then there is Mahavirji, another Jaina shrine is there here. So these are the Rameshwaram temple, Ramanath Swami temple, which is considered as the Lord Shiva temple, where Lord Rama worshipped Lord Shiva before launching his Lanka mission. Tirupati Balaji temple is here. So please go through each and every temple here, and there is Kamakhya Devi temple in Guwahati, very famous northeast temple. Brahma temple at Pushkar, the most important Brahma shrine in the world. In fact, some case considered as the only shrine of Brahma. Somnath temple, which was destroyed by the Mahmud Ghaznavi and was rebuilt by Sardar Patel after independence. Konark Sun temple, there is Jagannath Puri temple, as well as the Bhuvaneshwar Lingaraja temple is also there, which are not mentioned here. Bhadrachalam, Nasik Trimbeshwara temple, very important. There is Mahakal Kashi, there is Mahakal temple at Ujjaini, which is also not shown here. There is Kashi Vishwanath temple, Varanasi. Yeah, it is shown here. Next comes the Sun temple, because last year too there was a question asked on the Sun temple at Arsavalli, Andhra Pradesh, and many students were not aware of it. And Sun temples can be asked. Konark Sun temple I already mentioned. Martanda Sun temple in Kashmir, which was destroyed by the Sikandar Butshikan and was built by the Karkota dynasty's Lalitaditya Muktipada, is a very famous Sun temple. Multan, I mentioned, in Punjab was famous Sun temple worship center. And Modhera Sun temple is in Gujarat, Surya Pahad in Assam, Katarmal in Almora in Uttarakhand, Vivaswan in Gwalior. There is one in Kumbakonam, Suryanar Kovil. Surajkund is a kund in Haryana, where Surajkund Crafts Mela, annual Surajkund Crafts Mela since 1987 is held. Brahma temple, Pushkar I mentioned. Then Yogini temples, there are 5 plus 1 sixth. One is Dudhai in near Jhansi, a Yogini temple. Yogini temple, actually a central shrine is there, see, and around which Chosat Yogini, and in Dudhai there are 42 yoginis. There are Morena yoginis or goddesses, Morena, Jabalpur, Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. Then Hirapur, Ranipur in Odisha. Morena is near Jhansi. Then Jabalpur, which this is the Jabalpur temple, and this is the base of this on which our parliament was modelled by the Herbert Baker and etc. So this is important. On basis of the Jabalpur temple, our parliament was modelled. You can see here. And this is in Chittorgarh Fort temple of the 22 Chhatris. This is a Jain temple, Chittor, and these are the World Heritage Site of the Rajputana forts. This is the Chittorgarh Fort, and this is actually the main gate. 7 gates are there in Chittorgarh Fort. This is the Ram Pole, or the main gate, Ram Pole of Chittorgarh Fort. This is the Sonar Killa, Sonar Fort, the Golden Fort of Jaisalmer in Indian desert Thar. This is the Amer Fort, and I'm not able to distinguish with exactly whether one is Ranthambore Fort, which one is, because the pictures I cannot identify. Now let's come to the Kirti Stambh and the Vijay Stambh. Both are in Chittorgarh Fort. This is the Jaina Kirti Stambh, built by a trader, Shresthin Jija, Shreshti or the Seth, and this is smaller in height, although older than the Vijay Stambh. So it is for the glorification of the Jainism, and on which the Jainism image of Tirthankar etc. are carved out, smaller in height, and the top of it the 4 balconies in 4 directions. While the Vijay Stambh, you can see the Vijay Stambh is also elaborately carved. On the base of the Vijay Stambh, there is 2 story which are wider, but there are 5 story of the same size. At the top there are 2 halls, one larger than over the top is the smaller one. This is height is higher, and it is, there are some images of Jaina images are also on this, and its purpose was different. Rana, it was built by the Ranas after defeat of the Mandu rulers, Muslim ruler of Madhya Pradesh, Mandu, Mahmud Khalji. Now start of the Indo-Islamic architecture, fusion of the Indian feature of architecture and that of the Islamic architecture which came with the Islamic rule. So earlier in Indian architecture, which is known as the Dravid style, there was lintel and beam. This is called lintel and beam. And then Muslim came and arc style, and it was known as arcuate style. So these were the kind of the gateways earlier, and this is the starting of the gateways under the Muslim rule. While the Shikhar Viman style was followed in India earlier, now domes with started, arc and dome, and they had the better lime plaster as well as the cementing agent. And in India actually this better cementing agent was not there. So this is the Qutb complex. This is a you can say this is a partial arc of the Quwat al-Islam mosque, as it is not a true arc. You can see it is not a true arc. So these are the earliest example of a partial arc. The first true ark is in Balban's tomb, but it is destroyed now. So, in the true arcs were also different times were made. A keystone, like these stones were put, and then in the keystone the entire weight is placed. I will show you how these arcs emerged. The foliated arc as well. So I mentioned about the arc. First there was keystone arc, then emerged instead of the capstone there was pointed arc, like that. Then in the pointed arc too, under Shahjahan in particular, such kind of the foliated arc emerged, in which these were the kind of arc. Okay, you can see here, this is the foliated arc. Now in the same slide, let me tell you about the arabesque technique and the Pitradura. Pitradura arabesque technique is a Muslims under Islam. The images of human images were prohibited, so the decoration was with the intertwining of the flowers as well as the leaves, so scrolls of the leaves, and along with the Quranic verses like this. So this technique is this, they use the Indian stone carving, and these the patterns, such patterns, the carvings were used, and this is called arabesque. And when, like this here on the marble, along with the carving, some fine jewels were put in. This is known as Pitradura. I will also show you Pitradura later on. Under Mughals, it started during Mughals, and particularly under Shah Jahan, as Taj Mahal is a fine example of it. This is the Qutub complex. This is the Qutub Minar, started by Iltutmish, then started by the Qutbuddin Aibak, then completed by Iltutmish. Later on, its top stories were destroyed, and Firoz Shah Tughlaq had it, and the Britishers also repaired it. So this is the Qutawatul Islam Mosque, which was earlier a Jaina and temple. Some say it was a Jaina temple followed by Vishnu temple. This is the original Qutawatul Islam as mosque and Qutub Minar complex. Then later on it was expanded, and finally it was expanded. See, this is the another mirror started by the Qutbuddin Alauddin Khalji, and the entire complex of Qutb complex was expanded by Alauddin Khalji, and Alai Darwaja was expanded, which is the first true dome. You can say there is a true arc in there, true dome. So, but first true arc came in Balban's tomb, but it is not with us. And Qutub Minars is, these are the balconies. Indian styles, Gujarati styles was also used, and the stalactite honeycomb structure was used. Both marble as well as red sandstone was used, but primarily red sandstone. Marble was used in between. Now comes the architecture under Mughal. This Mughals Akbar's time forts were built at Lahore, Allahabad, as well as Agra. Agra was built earlier by the Iskandar Lodi, but Akbar built the Agra fort, and Red Fort as well as Jama Masjid was built by the Shah Jahan. We all know that Chandni Chowk was built by Shah Jahan's daughter Jahan Ara, and Moti Masjid was built. There are two Moti Masjid. Moti Masjid of Red Fort in Delhi was built by Aurangzeb, and Moti Masjid of Agra was built by Shah Jahan. And Jama Masjid of there is Jama Masjid in various parts of the country. This is Humayun's tomb during Akbar, whose model Taj Mahal was built. Actually, it was in turn was made on the model of the Persian buildings, and in it was built on a large platform, and minars are missing. Okay, this is Humayun's tomb, Delhi. Now these are the buildings of the Akbar's capital at Fatehpur Sikri, which was later on abandoned due to the lack of water. This is the plan. Diwan-e Aam for the public audience chamber, Diwan-e Khas for meeting with the ministers, on which there is Aankh Micholi, which was considered as royal treasury, Aankh Micholi. Okay, Pachisi court in front of the Diwan Khas, which is on a pattern of the chessboard like pattern. There's Panch Mahal. This is the Panch Mahal. See, Panch Mahal was on model of the Buddhist Vihar. This is Anup Talao, a pond, and this is Khwabga, or the royal, you can say Akbar's palace, personal palace. And there are also Jodhabai's palace, Birbal's palace, etc. minor buildings. This is the entrance of the Sheikh Salim Chishti Dargah there. This is the Buland Darwaja built by Akbar in 1572, started in 1572 after the Akbar's victory over Gujarat. And this is the Hiran Minar. After the death of the Akbar's favorite elephant, it was built. Its structure is on bottom, it is octagonal. Then on it there is this circular one which narrows down at the top. On the top of it there is a chhatri, and there are protrusions like the elephant tusks. Hiran Minar at Fatehpur Sikri. Taj Mahal, recently President Trump visited it. This is the 4 minarets. It says the base structure is that of brick, and on which there is marble. So these are the 4 minars, and these minars are tilted so that in case of earthquake, etc., they won't fall out of the structure itself. In front of it there is Char Bagh. Char Bagh is the depiction of the heaven per the Muslim belief, Islamic belief, the Char Bagh garden. Now look at the Taj Mahal. In it there is a tomb of Shah Jahan as well as his wife. This main arc is called Pishtak, the gateway. This is on a platform. Humayun's tomb I already shown you. These are the smaller arcs on the walls. Okay, these Pishtak, there is arabesque as well as Pitra Dura. I already mentioned what is arabesque and Pitra Dura. This is, you can see here, this one, in which there is calligraphy of Pishtak. And in between the arc and the Pishtak there is a spandrel, the space in which again there is scrolls of flowers, on which there has Pitra Dura was used, means the precious stones were used. Then at the top of it there are minor chhatris are there, which are the example taken from the Rajasthan Gujarat architecture, which are, and there is a base of it, the drum on which dome, which is onion dome, which is largely circular, and at the top of it there is inverted lotus symbol which is like in India. It is also there in Firoz Shah Tughlaq's tomb. At the top of it there is a large metallic structure, the finial, and topped by Chandara, topped by the moon, the crescent. I forget about these tombs of Lodi Garden. So I mentioned about the first true arc, first dome, Alai Darwaja. There is in Tughlaq buildings, the main feature was better, or these are the slanted walls. These are the Lodi Garden buildings. Tughlaq buildings, Firoz Shah Tughlaq used the lotus symbol. The start of the buildings between the ponds also started. Then this is this Mubarak Shah Sayyid's tomb. Look at the Rajasthani style of architecture. And also during this period, Lodi Sayyid period, double dome started. Okay, double dome started. So these are the additional features. And this is the look at this Sayyid tomb. Multiple arches in each direction was there. Okay, so the Indo-Islamic architecture was evolving. This is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq's tomb. Okay. Now the regional architecture of the medieval period. Mandus, Baj Bahadur's Palace, Rani Rupmati Pavilion, Hindola Mahal, Jaj Mahal, Ushang Shah Tomb, Dilawar Khan Tomb, Jami Masjid, etc. There and Mandu, these are the names I'm not showing, but these mentioned you should remember. Now I am showing you the Attala Mosque at Sharki. This gateway you can remember Attala Mosque at Sharki Kingdom of Jaunpur. This is the Adina Mosque in which height is not that high. The mosque, there are smaller tombs like egg-like topography is there. Similarly, egg-like topography is also there in the Mandu tombs. Mandu's Jami Masjid also like that. So there are small domes. These are Ahmedabad's structure. This is Sarkhez Roja, beautiful marble building, and this is Sidi Sayyid Mosque because it is important because of the one of the most beautiful Jali work in India. Now the last one in series is this Deccan architecture Charminar. Charminar is a two-story structure on which under which there is a four directions. There is open gateways. Four minars are there, and there a road passes through. Qutub Shah dynasty built it, and this is Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah, and the Bijapur style Muhammad Adil Shah built the Gol Gumbaj, in which a bulbous dome, entirely spherical dome, on which the lotus was a Hindu symbol. Whereas minor on the four direction, the minarets were topped by the smaller domes, and there were arches in all the directions, and this triple arched face, only the one was bigger, the rest were smaller. There are also chajjas in the four direction in front of it. It is important because the Gol Gumbaj is important for whispering gallery. अगर आप एक जगह से आवाज दोगे तो it will sound in the entire gumbaj, right? Whispering gallery, it will echo. So that's it, guys. Thank you.